Hi, the video I have for you today is about how to use the Viewfinder, your best friend. The purpose of using a Viewfinder isn't really to create a complete drawing, but to approximate the size and the placement of the objects. One thing you want to make sure of is that your window resembles the shape of the paper you're working with. What happens if I hold the Viewfinder up close? If I hold it up close, the subject will look smaller. If I hold it far away from my head, the subject will look large. Play around until you find a good view for your subject. So the first thing you want to do is figure out the orientation of your Viewfinder. After that, you want to take the lines that divide your Viewfinder in 4 quadrants, and you want to transfer that to your paper. So here in my paper, I have drawn the 4 quadrants. One thing I want to do though is pay attention to how my arm is flexed and the position my arm is in. And I want to remember that, because if the phone rings and I have to drop it and pick it up again, I want to be able to go back to the same view I had. And let's talk about reference points. See, I'm moving it around and I have to find a place in which to place the crosshairs for these lines. I've chosen the edge of the cup, as you can see, where it meets the edge of the bottle, which is almost in the middle. But I could very well choose another point of reference depending on what I want to choose. Let's say I wanted to show the bottle in right the center of the composition, then my reference point would be right in the middle of the bottle. Let's see how we can transfer this to paper, which is the purpose of this tool. The Viewfinder can be used in a lot of ways, but here we are concerned with the way you use it to draw a still life. So I am now getting ready to start looking through the Viewfinder in portrait position the way I have it here. I am going to use this marker so that you can really see what I'm doing. So I am holding the Viewfinder in my hand in the way that I showed you before. And now I'm looking through the window and determining that here is where the top of the bottle would be, but the bottom is not really that close to the bottom of the paper. It's sort of over here. Then I also look at how wide this bottle is, and I know one of my lines hit one of the sides of the bottle, and the other line hits at about here. So this is what I have to work with for the bottle. Then I look at the cup. I ask myself the same thing. One of the sides of the bottle ends here. The bottom is quite forward. It's almost here, near the bottom of the paper. The other side of the cup hits at about this place, and the top of the bottle coincides with this horizontal line. So I draw the cup's opening using that technique I showed you about, and I now have the body of this cup, and I make the bottom round as I see it. Then I look at the size of the holder and I come up with this, which is an approximation. Might change it later, but so far it looks good. How about the bottle? The bottle's a challenge because we know it has to be symmetrical. So how about drawing a symmetry line that can help us keep things the same on each side? And also, starting with faint lines, I am going to draw this neck. make some tentative lines. I see that the neck gradually transitions to the body. So this is what I have. Then I realize, well, this bottle is a little higher. Okay, for as long as we don't go too far past the margins, it's all good. And then I make sure I have the outline. And that's it. That's the blocking in. And now I can get rid of the viewfinder and start making refinements to this drawing to turn it into a complete drawing.